Hi vinyl community, it's Mike, Vinyl Spiral here, and today I'm going to talk about some of my vinyl purchases from February 2023. And I'm going to start with the quietest album and move up to the loudest album, which is very loud indeed. So the first one is a traditional British folk album. It's a debut by Angeline Morrison, and it's called The Sorrow Songs, Folk Songs of Black British Experience. Now, Angeline Morrison, as well as being a brilliant folk singer and writer, is also an academic. And this album sets out to put right an omission. And this is that black people are poorly, or if at all, represented in British folk music. So she wrote all the 11 tracks on this album. The album has real pedigree because it's produced by Eliza Carthy. It's on the Topic label. Eliza Carthy and the band arrange all of the songs on this album. And the very final track has Martin Carthy, and that's Eliza's father, who is the greatest British folk singer, as far as I'm concerned. Now, the songs on this album are absolutely lovely, but I will take issue with one thing about it, is that in order to make the point, there are some historical recordings, little interludes of 15, 20 seconds between some of the tracks. And this is basically white people saying racist things. And although it gets a point across, I think it detracts from the album itself. I'd rather just have the music. But other than that, it's an absolutely lovely album. The standout track on this album is, I think, the second track on side one. The second track on side one, and it's called Black John. And it's absolutely lovely. So Angeline Morrison, she's a great singer. She also plays the alto harp, which I think is a lovely instrument. And if you're into British folk music, then this is an album you really need to get. So that's Angeline Morrison, The Sorrow Songs. Right then, up next is an EP. And this is by the Ishmael Ensemble and Ryder Shafiq. So Ryder Shafiq is an MC, and the Ishmael Ensemble is a collective that's run by, what's his name? Pete Cunningham, who's a brilliant saxophone player. The Ishmael Ensemble are very, very loosely, I would say, linked to the UK jazz scene. And there are hints of jazz in their albums, but I wouldn't say that any of them are actually, jazz albums out and out. This EP certainly isn't. It's very much sort of inspired by North African, Middle Eastern rhythms, and Ryder Shafiq's vocals go really well over top of the music. And on the album, there's a C90 intro, Polestar, New Era on side one, and then side two, a track called Psalm, and second track Reasons. And those final two tracks on side two feature harp playing, and the harp is played by, let's have a look, Bethany Stevens. And it's a really nice album, or EP, I should say. It's I'm trying to describe the music. I suppose if you like bands like Bon Iver or Fortet, I think you probably quite like this. And the Ishmael Ensemble's last album that was out, I think, in 2021, called Visions of Light, is an absolute treat. As I say, there's hints of jazz to their music, but they're not really jazz albums. So, I would recommend Ishmael Ensemble. They're really, really nice. Right, Next up is a French band. Here they are, on attendant Anna, and this is their third album called Principia. They're from Paris, but they sing in English. But they're very much sort of a French band. It's very sort of fuzzy French indie pop, and also it's very upbeat. You know, I love the sort of positiveness of this album. It's silky smooth, and the vocalist, who's Margot Bouchardon, um, she is absolutely top notch singer. And the final track on this album is called "The Fear's the Urge," and it features the saxophone playing of Camille Frachon, and that is that is absolutely lovely. That's the best track on this album. Uh, I think if you like bands like the Cardigans, I think you probably like On Attendant Anna. It's on this vinyl, sort of orangey. I think it says it's peach. It says on the cover. So lovely peach coloured vinyl, a lovely album, and that's On Attendant Anna, and they're from France. Right. Oh, and there you go. You get nice lyric sheet as well, and whatever that is on the back. Right. So onto the next album, and this is a very loud album indeed, and this is Death Pill. This is a self-titled album by a Ukrainian hardcore punk band. If you like bands like Black Flag, you'd absolutely love Death Pill. Now this album is an absolute triumph over adversity. So as I say, they're an all-girl band from Ukraine, and the three of them, they're called Anastasia Komenkov, and she plays the drums and does the vocals. Natalia Seryakova is a bass player, and Mariana Navrutskaya plays the guitars and also does vocals. It's extremely sort of uncompromising, hardcore punk rock. Absolutely love this album. And there you go. It's on red sort of splatter vinyl. It's not a long album. It's got about 8 tracks, I think, nine tracks, and it runs at 45 RPM. So each track is 2 minutes and a bit, and they're all over. And right, the tracks include Dirty Rotten Youth, Miss Revolt, Die for Vietnam, It's a Joke, Go Your Way, Kill the Traitors, and Would You Marry Me? And there's a couple of other tracks in Ukrainian, and I can't even begin to pronounce them, but I'll show you there. That's the back of the album, and it comes with handwritten lyrics on the inner sleeve. Now, as I say, this is an album that's really sort of born out of adversity. So they were formed in 2017, and they started laying down their first album in 2021, right in the middle of COVID lockdown, and they got quite a long way with it. And then in February 2022, Putin's tanks rolled into Ukraine, and they had to try and finish the album, under fire, so to speak. Apparently they got 2 or 3 other tracks mastered by February last year, and they had to complete the album and do all the artwork and get the album released. During this absolutely terrible year for the people of Ukraine. And appropriately enough, the album was released last Friday, which was the 24th of February, and that's the first anniversary of Putin's invasion. So, solidarity to the people of the Ukraine, and I just hope that this horrible war ends soon. So that's the albums that I purchased this month. But having the Death Pill album, it reminded me of another band, the Ukrainians. Now, the Ukrainians were a band that were formed by Peter Slavotka, who was guitarist with The Wedding Present. It was formed in 1990. This is a 1992 album called Veroni, and it's in Ukrainian. I mean, what they say is that they sing songs in the Ukrainian style, and I'd like to show you this. This was a record store day release, sort of way back, I think in 2014, something like that. And there you go. Never mind the Cossacks. Here's the Ukrainians, and it's what you'd expect it to be. It's covers of Sex Pistols songs in Ukrainian, and it's a brilliant novelty. It's absolutely lovely. What they did is, I think in 2002, they released an EP of Sex Pistols, some of the Sex Pistols songs. Yes, they released Anarchy in the UK, God Save the Queen, and Pretty Vacant on an EP, and those are on this this mini album as well. But as well, you've got an acoustic version of Anarchy in the UK, and then on side B, you've got Holidays in the Sun, Problems, and then 2 live tracks, God Save the Queen again, and Anarchy in the UK. So there you go. Never mind the Cossacks, here's the Ukrainians. I don't know how easy it is to pick this up, but I think it's really amazing. You won't hear anything quite like that, and it's in on yellow vinyl with the blue label. So everything in the Ukrainian colours. And as I say, solidarity to the people of Ukraine. And there you go. That's all I have to show at the moment. So see you next time. Cheers then. Bye.